The rain hammered against the metal roof of the shop as Jake looked up, surprised to see her soaked from the storm, red dress clinging to her like it belonged in a scene far grander than his small-town life. Serena stepped closer, her heels splashing softly on the concrete floor, the envelope held firmly in her hand as if it weighed more than paper ever should. Jake froze for a heartbeat. The sight of her, so out of place in his world of oil stains and flickering fluorescent lights, made the whole shop feel smaller, as if the walls had shifted to give her presence space. He grabbed a rag instinctively, wiping his hands even though he knew the grease wouldn't come off. He didn't know why he cared suddenly, why her seeing him like this mattered, but it did. "You're back," he said, trying to find steady ground in his voice. Serena brushed a strand of wet hair from her face, leaving a faint trail of rainwater down her cheek. "I needed to see you," she replied, barely audible over the storm beating against the building. Her voice wasn't steady, it wasn't guarded the way it had been during their first meeting. It was softer, rawer, almost fragile. Jake felt something shift in the air, something unspoken but undeniable. He stepped toward her. "You're soaked. You should have called or waited out the storm." "I couldn't wait," she whispered. Jake frowned, not understanding but feeling every ounce of the urgency in her words. She looked like someone running from something, or maybe towards something, he couldn't tell. He motioned her toward the small office in the back, the only warm place in the shop. She hesitated, clutching the envelope as if it were a lifeline. When she finally stepped inside, the weak glow of the desk lamp washed over her features, and for the first time, Jake truly noticed how tired she looked. Not physically, but emotionally, the kind of exhaustion that didn't come from lack of sleep. Jake leaned against the counter, arms folded, trying to mask his concern with something casual. "So, what's that?" he asked, nodding toward the envelope. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she stared down at it, her fingers tightening around the edges like she was afraid it might slip away. "It's something important. For you." That made Jake's stomach twist. People didn't come back into his life like this, not with gifts, not with promises. Usually, they left and didn't return. He had learned to expect disappearance, not presence. "Serena," he said carefully, "I fix cars. I don't know what kind of important paper you think I need." "It's not about what you do," she said, meeting his eyes. "It's about who you are." The words lingered in the small room like a confession. Jake swallowed hard. Compliments weren't something he knew how to take. He wasn't used to people seeing anything impressive in him, especially not someone like her. "I don't understand," he muttered. "You will," she said, stepping closer. The faint scent of rain and jasmine drifted off her, filling the small office. "But you need to trust me." Trust. A delicate, expensive currency in Jake's world. One he rarely traded. He stared at her, trying to read her expression. It wasn't pity. It wasn't superiority. It was something far more dangerous, something that felt like genuine concern. "What is it you want to help with?" he asked cautiously. Serena took a deep breath. Her voice trembled. "Your life." Jake blinked. "My life doesn't need fixing," he said, a defensive wall rising in his chest. "I just need more hours in a day. That's all." Serena nodded slowly, as if she expected that response. "Jake, the world has given you the bare minimum, and you've still managed to raise a beautiful daughter and survive. But surviving isn't the same as living." He looked away, heart pounding in his ears. He hated how true her words felt. She continued, her tone gentler. "I've seen men with every privilege fall apart under half the pressure you face every day. But you're still standing. Still fighting. That's not luck. That's strength." Jake clenched his jaw, emotions tightening his throat. No one had ever said anything like that to him. Certainly not with this kind of sincerity. "You don't even know me," he whispered. "I know enough," Serena said, her voice barely above a breath. "And I want to help you reach the life you deserve." Jake shook his head. "Why? Why me?" Serena hesitated then, the crack in her confidence showing. She looked down at her hands as if searching for an answer written on her own skin. "Because," she said softly, "you reminded me what honesty looks like. What kindness feels like. What it means to be seen, not for money, not for status, but for the person you really are." Jake's heart stumbled in his chest. Her voice trembled with vulnerability, and in that moment, he saw something he never expected from someone like her. Loneliness, real, heavy loneliness. He softened.
Serena, what are you running from?
She blinked, startled, as if the question pierced deeper than he intended. She wasn't used to being asked about her feelings, that much was clear. I'm not running, she said slowly.
I'm choosing.
Choosing what?
You, she said.
Your honesty. Your bravery. Your world. It's messy and hard and small, but it's real.
And I haven't had real in a long time.
Jake stared at her, stunned. Serena stepped closer again, the envelope now between them like a fragile bridge. This isn't charity, she whispered.
This is a door. A real chance. For you. For Emma. Jake's eyes flicked to the envelope, then back to Serena.
Her sincerity scared him. Her vulnerability shook him. Her presence felt like a storm he wasn't ready for, but desperately needed. His voice cracked as he spoke.
I'm not a man you build futures on, Serena.
No, she said, eyes glistening.
You're the man who deserves one.
And for the first time in a very long while, Jake wondered if she might be right.